Yo guys, welcome to the last lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
Yeah,
I think the Red Bull Renault days. That'll be the last of it, I think.
yeah. Bring back Minardi, mate. Fuck the feds. Let them make their own engine.
Imagine that.
Minardi engine.
Well, we're talking to bring him back. Schumacher,
Yeah, man.
Mick,
Mikal.
Mercedes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Reserve driver.
Replacing, I guess, Van Dorn, De Vries, who were their kind of reserve drivers. Van Dorn's gone to Aston Martin now, and De Vries is now at AlphaTauri for 2023.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Mick, and I'm not surprised. I think this was a matter of time.
It made sense, didn't it? German driver whose dad has had obviously links at, I was about to say at the club. No, this isn't a football podcast. At the team.
Well, Mercedes paid for Michael Schumacher's debut at Jordan.
Yeah.
They paid like 200k, didn't they, or something like that?
Yeah.
They gave Eddie Jordan the bag to give him the seat, and then he got P7 in qualifying.
Eddie was like,
Spa.
shit. This guy's
And then Benetton were like, yoink.
The history's there.
Take him.
And they want to carry on that history by bringing Mick in. You're looking at somebody that's Formula 3, Formula 2 champion.
Yeah.
Didn't go too well at Haas.
Yeah, I mean, he obliterated some cars. I hear that, but it wasn't like
Pace
that
wasn't a
bad.
massive
I felt
issue.
like pace was all right. I think it's a good step for him, especially to just stay in the paddock as well. Because I was a little bit concerned for him in terms of like, yeah, he's cool, he's lost his seat, and then, well, he might still be around for like an Audi seat in 3 years. It's like things are going to have changed by then. There'll be like a new kid on the block. There'll be new sort of drivers that are more attractive by then. So it's good for him to just be able to stay in the paddock. Like obviously with Daniel Ricciardo going to Red Bull. It's good, just like keep your foot in the door. Just say like, "Oh, there's a seat available there,
It's a
lads."
people business. Like,
It's my cover letter.
Your face has to be on the paddock. You can't be out of sight, out of mind. You have to be there if you want to get a seat again. We saw that with Albon last year.
Yeah, million.
Because he was at Red Bull, he was there, got that Williams seat.
yeah.
So
right.
you have to be in and about. And Mick's going to go from, he's been at Haas, he's going to Mercedes, he's going to state-of-the-art facilities.
He's going to learn a lot, actually.
He's going to
as
learn
well,
a lot.
to be fair.
He's behind Lewis and Russell. He's going to learn a lot and be in that situation where it was a bit awkward for him to be at Haas, especially with all the crashes. And those crashes mean something for those teams.
Yeah, if he crashes it on the sim, it's all calm.
It's all right. If he crashes,
Unless he breaks.
if he crashes it in a, if he crashes in a practice session, random practice session at Mercedes, guess what? They'll just fix the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Only Mick Schumacher could find a way to crash in the sim and break the sim. The Destructors champion
Full factor. Just
Toto, the Sim's on fire. What's going on?
is micking it again. Oh, well,
did
sorry.
it? Oh,
I'm sorry, Mick. I'm joking, of
no, we're
course.
joking.
No, listen. I think given the pace that he showed, demonstrated in Formula One, I don't think pace was a massive issue. I just think that, for a team like Haas, they don't need a driver like that. That they need someone who they can rely on. They're not going to be prepared to take that same risk.
It was just one of those matches that just didn't work.
It didn't work
in terms of
out.
what Haas need in terms of what Mick Schumacher is as a driver.
But you know what? Alex took the L. He was off the grid for a year, came back doing well. I think also it's not just, it's like anything in life. You learn most from the things that go wrong. And it's like, it's not worked out for Mick. He needs to understand how much of it was in his control, how much of it was just it wasn't a right fit for Haas.
and how much of it was ironically him just being out of control.
Do you know what? Honestly, I think with Mick, being in that situation and then being in this one, it's like completely different. It's a different ballpark. I think the pressure of just not crashing
Yeah.
at Haas, when it's like they've got so little money compared to everybody else, they can't afford any of that. And now you have to think about Steiner's thinking of having Mazepin and him at the same time on the team, 2 rookies. What did you expect to happen? If you've got no money, you put 2 rookies in a car, what do you expect?
They just did not care.
It was almost
why
one
did
of
they
them.
turn up?
I think it was almost like, right, we're getting so much money from this Mazepin ute.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck what happens.
Yeah.
Like if we're last by 3 seconds, a lap, boom, calm, whatever. We're getting the paycheck.
What if the logic was they're so slow that they won't crash because they're not near anybody?
Well, that's probably the minimum thing they were hoping for,
Yeah,
and then that they were like 2 of the most, especially Mick.
They didn't think about Latifi.
They didn't think about Latifi. They didn't think about them just crashing with each other or just on their own. Yeah, there was some
Bad decision
It was
making.
Bahrain. We shouldn't really talk about this for very long, but it was Bahrain, like 2021, like corner 4,
Oh, God.
Mazepin out. restart.
I
corner
predicted
4.
that. I tweeted that before that happened. I swear to God, I tweeted Mazepin out for turn 4 before it happened. Before it happened, because I just knew.
You called the side, mate.
I called the listen.
He knew, man.
Magic Mahab, man.
Chick mad.
So, do you think Schumacher gets back on the grid 24?
Not 24. Because if something happens at Williams, maybe. If something happens where
If
maybe
Albon was
Albon
to
moves,
leave,
or
yeah.
I think Sargent will still be there.
Yeah.
But it depends on
But the thing is, as well, like
situation.
both Albon and Sargent were bought in. Capito specifically went for them too, so he got Sargent in the young driver program.
And then he's dipped.
when he joins.
Yeah.
Now Capito's gone. So you were saying earlier about with Bonotto bringing in Sainz, and that was his, and then he inherited Leclerc.
Yeah.
You do wonder, obviously, it would depend massively who comes in at Williams as well, takes over, and whether they see Sargent and Albon as being the future.
Lads, F1 is so cutthroat. Yeah. This whole Nico Hulkenberg does like 2 races and then he gets back on legacy settings, XP. Yeah. That does not happen often, yeah. Stoffel Van Dorn, backup driver at Mercedes for the longest time, never got a sniff of getting back into Formula 1.
I still feel bad for Van Dorn.
I still feel so
I'm
bad
like,
for
Van Dorn, come on, man.
This sport did
I
him
didn't think
so
he was that
dirty.
bad at McLaren. I was like,
He was against
not that
Fernando
bad. He's against
Alonso.
Against Fernando
His
Alonso.
rookie season.
It's a long day. But if he, with the pedigree that Van Dorn had, is in that sort of like, yeah, call him a Mercedes reserve driver. And I know De Vries managed to, but again, quite rare. And also De Vries has the pedigree of being an F2 champion and a Formula E champion. I think if Mick Schumacher went off and did something like that, went off and like in 2024 was like, right, cool, I'm gonna keep my Mercedes reserve role so that if, you know, by some madness they need me, cool, I'm there. But I'm gonna go off and do Formula E. I'm gonna go win Formula E. I'm gonna go do something crazy. Then cool, he puts himself back in the shop
Albon did
window.
DTM, there's like Super
I
Formula.
feel like that's rare occasions though, because how much times have we seen talented drivers, young drivers, get that opportunity in Formula 1, get dropped, never come back?
Yeah. Because there's always a new conveyor belt. Like the F2 grid next season is due to be ridiculous because that F3 one of this season was mental. So there's going to be like...
Behrman,
like
there's
Hadjar.
Stanek as well, like they will...
Say Maloney as well.
Maloney, yeah.
I mean, and the guys that were in F2 last season who, like your Dennis Haugers, who it didn't quite work, but could still do well.
Porsche,
like Mick Schumacher was like
Wasser.
E9 in his first season F2.
There's so
nuts.
many names.
People are knocking on the door at all times. So if you've had your opportunity already,
Yeah.
it's hard for you.
Yeah, it is. It's tough.
There's absolutely no guarantee in this sport.